Hey guys, and welcome back to the HobbyDude007 channel. Can you believe it's less than 90 days to the Southern Nationals in Atlanta this year? Wow. What a great show these guys put on. The Atlanta Car Modeling Enthusiasts, great club, great bunch of guys. 3 themes this year, brand new location. Go on to their Facebook page, check out the location. Make your reservations while you still can. I'm sure there's other accommodations in the area if that's booked, but hey, this is a show worth going to. If you're in the Southeast, this is the show. 3 themes this year, as I said: 100 years of Le Mans, 70 years of Corvette, and NASCAR are the themes. Well, of those themes, I've got 2 that I want to be working on, or getting finished up anyway. One for the Corvette and one for NASCAR. And I'll tell you about the NASCAR in the another upcoming video. But I want to go ahead and show you a little bit on the Corvette right now. So let's get to it. As you saw in the thumbnail, the subject for my Corvette entry is a 1958 Corvette, and we're doing a lot of customizing to this thing. I've worked on it a little bit today. Worked on this for quite a while. This was a project I actually started a few years back, and it, like many times, we all know stuff gets set aside for the strangest of reasons, and sometimes legitimate reasons. But anyway, with the theme coming up, this was the first thing that popped back into my head, and I'll share with you in just a few moments the inspiration for doing that one. And here's our base kit. This 58 Corvette Roadster is a Revell monogram issue of the Pro Modeler, and I picked this, actually I won the first one at a raffle, and I loved it so much I picked up another one. So I've got enough parts to do, well, I've got enough to do several cars out of these things, but let me tell you, between the engine detail, these Pro Modeler kits were always great kits anyway. But this is our base. This is where we started, and as I said, I started a few years ago, so I've got photographs from my old workbench, and I'll show you and do a little slideshow real quick, and I'll put together the inspiration behind it, and then the what I've got done, because as I said in the last video, this thing is probably close to halfway done. The body work, I usually wait to the last to do the body anyway, but I want to share with you the completed engine, transmission, some of the drivetrain, all of that stuff, the machined aluminum parts, the wheels, tires, rotors, all that stuff. But we'll get some pictures of all that stuff, and I'll give you where we are right now, and then we'll do upcoming videos as we finish it up. So stick around, we'll get into the slideshow. First up, guys, the inspiration for this build actually comes from the winner of the 2011 SEMA show in Las Vegas. The minute I saw this car, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. This thing is just gorgeous. It is a concept / custom, and it is beautiful, as you can see. The gloss white, the satin black with the red separation stripes, and the red and black interior. Wow, this thing was just something. Now, like I said, I'm taking my own liberties with it. This car is a 1959, but I'm using the 58 Corvette, and I am doing some things differently. I'm not going to have the bumpers. I'm making it a full custom show car. So it won't have bumpers. It's going to have some, the interior is a lot different. Well, I wouldn't say a lot, but quite a bit. The diffuser tray that I'll have underneath it like a modern Corvette. Here's some pictures you see at the show, and this thing is just gorgeous. Well, at least I think so. So I got to do this paint job. But I'm going to have my own twist. The wheels that we're going to be using are machined aluminum. And of course photo etched disc brakes, all of that kind of stuff. But as you can see, this thing just grabs you. And like I said, it was the award winner at SEMA. So a great car. And let's get over to what I've got done so far. Let's start with the engine. It's a resin casting from Ross Gibson. Back when those were still available, I picked up a couple of the Chevy 572s. The valve covers are machined aluminum. I got those from my buddy Gerald Wolf, and they look just fantastic on there. And you see the dipstick, which is just a piece of ultra-thin wire that I looped over and painted yellow there. I think it adds a really good look to it. The belts are separate pieces, and the printing on the belt is a decal, and I cannot for the life of me remember where those things came from, but it was really fine printing, and I think it looks really good on the belt. And I think overall the engine transmission turned out really, really nicely. We'll take a closer look at that in a minute. Next up, let's look at the interior. The dashboard had to be modified quite a bit because there was just some things in there that just didn't cut it. You can see here where I had to fill in a couple of spots, and I cut a big chunk out of the front there that I was going to have to make some modifications on. And then I made a piece to fit on the driver's side for the instruments. And you see the putty there, and then here you see the sheet plastic that I put where the radio faces and so forth would be there in front of the console, as well as the instrument panel. And then here is the dash with the red on it. I wanted this to get a leathery look, so when I did the red, and by the way, this is Tester's flat red, but I changed the air pressure and I thinned it a little bit, probably almost too much, but it gave it a good leather look. So I did that on the seats, the door panels, and the dash there. And then you see here where I put the carbon fiber over the radio area there, as well as the instrument panel. And by the way, all the carbon fiber, I used two different patterns, and both of those are from Scale Motorsports. And I think they turned out really nicely too. Then the steering wheel was from a 97 Corvette. And I painted it to kind of match the interior with both the red leather and the semi-gloss black, and I think that turned out well. The seats, I liked the shape of the stock seats. I just did not like the centers, so I cut the centers out, enlarged them just a little bit, and went back, and you can see in the centerpiece between the seats there, I did some filling on a couple of spots there, and the steps down on the sides, you'll see an aluminum piece later on that's been added in there. But went back with some evergreen and built up the seat centers there, and you see the pleats in those. So just enlarged that a little bit and added that. And then here's a look at the interior from just up above, and you see the computer screen down low, and then the CD sticking out of the CD player. I love that. The gauges, and then the Corvette emblem up there on the dash, and you see the little electric knobs down on the armrest. And the door panels, I'll show you those probably in the next video, maybe at the end of this one later on. But what I did with those was took the stock panels, cut everything off, filled them in with sheet plastic, and then puttied them over so I'd get a good smooth finish, and then went back and rescribed those. And I think you'll like those, the way I ended up two-toning those as well. Next on the chassis, the tires and wheels I was going to use were just a lot wider. So I needed some small tubs on the back, so I went ahead and cut the fender wells out and built some tubs. Got those. Here's a look at from the front. And here, give you an idea from the side how those look. But it allowed the tires to not only sit in, but to go up a little higher so it would get the stance that I wanted there too. And then after all of that, I did a test fit in the body, and you see the dash fits just fine. This is before it was, of course, finished up. I just want to get a good... Dry fitting stuff is always a good idea, guys, because if you make some changes and you think it's going to fit, and then you go to put it in later and it doesn't, I test fit everything quite often. by the way, inside the trunk, that floor is, as you'll see shortly, carbon fiber, and the wheel wells are covered in the Scale Motorsports carbon fiber, and that'll be coming up here shortly. Now, in that trunk, I did a couple of battery boxes, and I wasn't sure I was going to get 2 of them in there. I didn't think so, but I went ahead and did. There was 2 in the pack. I just went ahead and painted them. And that's that printing that was on the belts. I put on the strap for that as well. I think just added a little to it. Then also for the trunk was a fire extinguisher that'll be mounted back there. And then nitrous bottles. Got to have some NOS, man. And these are Detail Master items that all I did was just simply shot them with airbrush. I think it was just the transparent blue from All-Clad, and just shot that lightly over it so it gave it that anodized look. And then the decals, I think they just looked great on there. Then made the little carbon fiber tray that they're mounted on. And here's everything in the trunk. You see the carbon fiber on the floor, and in this one you can see a little closer. You see the carbon fiber on the tubs as well as the floor. And there's a little wrench laying down there for the nitrous bottles. I think that turned out well. And then here it is once again, a test fit up to the body again. And all this is a dry fit, guys. Nothing's glued in. But I just wanted to get an idea of what we're looking at here. And then moving on to the body, there was a lot of changes, and I am still doing stuff to this body. Filled in the front and rear and removed a few things that were the mounting points for the bumpers. Filled in the Corvette emblems and removed some of the trim. I'll be adding some trim back, and you'll see that in probably the next video too. But a lot of stuff. And around back, I decided instead of having the bezels for the headlights or the tail lights, I was going to smooth all that in. So a lot of that has yet to be done. Fill in on the rear just as the front. Fill in the Corvette emblem and the key latch. Also remove the mounting brackets for the rear bumper. And the exhaust system down there, you see in this picture straight on the back, the 2 little notches of sheet plastic and putty that we're filling those in. And of course, with all the sanding and smoothing, I had to make sure all of my trunk lines lined up right, because this trunk is going to be functional. It's going to be open and closed. But I'll probably have it open so you can see the goodies in there. And then here it is with the final coat of filler all over the body. I think that was about it. The headlights are going to be a little bit kind of Frenched, and I'm debating over whether to use the kind of yellow tint lens up in those, or if I want to try to do some kind of I don't know, LEDs. I'm not sure yet. I'll know when I put the yellow ones in there how it looks against that red, white, and black too. And then here it is with all that sanded and smoothed in, the headlight bezels and the taillight bezels and the front grille mounts. And here it is with the windshield frame. That's been shortened just a little bit, and it's been added. And then here is the grill mounts that have already been installed and kind of glassed in. And you see the Detail Master screen or grill screen that's going to be going in there. And then finally, this is just the latest mock-up I did right here just to get a look at it. And I think I'm going to have the hood raised not flip forward like the real car was, but I'm going to have it raised from right in front of the windshield. It'll raise back there. And so you can see the engine and, of course, what's in the trunk there, all the NOS bottles, the battery and fire extinguisher. This stance, actually, I think it's going to be a little bit lower. My buddy Ricky Couch always said if you can get a business card under it's fine, but if you can get a credit card under it, it's too high. So I'm going to try to honor him with this and try to get her sitting in the weeds. But it will clear, though. Don't worry about that. But as you can see, I've added ground effects to the bottom. And I'm not through with that yet, and I'm also working on some ground effects for the front, kind of an air dam up front. I want it to look a little, I don't want to say decorative, but I want it to look really sharp too. But that's what got me up to where I am now. Now, let me grab a couple of things, and I'll show you the engine up close, some of the tires and that kind of stuff, as well as the dash, and we'll get this one wrapped up. Stick around, guys. I want to wrap up the video with a close-up look at just a couple things real quick, and the engine is one of them. You know, I mentioned that I had two of these Ross Gibson 572s, and the unassembled one is going to be put together today, and it's going to look exactly like this one. And the reason I'm doing two is this one will be in the car, the one that's going together now. This one will be displayed beside the car. And I'll give you a close-up look at this one. You see the pulley faces, the belts up close, the Corvette emblems, all of that is Model Car Garage. And let's go around and let you look at it. This will be, like I said, the display engine, and the other one, again, will be identical to this one. But the display engine, because the transmission will be tailing just behind it, you see has the torque converter and the flywheel and the tranny. And these will be displayed kind of like that. And then the other tranny, this one will be actually in the car. And everything is painted. As I told you, there was about 4, maybe 5 shades of all-clad in here. On the top of the injector hat, you see the carbon fiber strips. This has got the plastic already on it, and I've got the carbon fiber decal cut. I just haven't applied it yet. But again, this one will go in the car and the other beside. So that's that. The wheels and tires, as I mentioned, these are machined aluminum wheels. I've had these for I don't know how many, probably close to 20 years, right when this stuff first came out, and maybe a little longer than that. And I've never had a use for them, but I just thought these looked so good tucked up underneath there. And so I thought I would use these, but beautiful, beautiful wheels. And I'll do some accent down around the lugs in the center. And and I've got this kind of mocked up. There's your photo etched disc brake that will sit up in there. The dash I had mentioned, well, you remember, I want you to get a close-up of it, though. You can see, well, maybe you can, the carbon fiber and the bezels around the, well, I don't know if you can or not. There's little chrome bezels that go around each of the gauges. And again, I'm not sure you can, the light's hitting it just right or not. Anyway, then you've got the, man, the light's really bad up here. The computer screen, the instrument pan, or the, excuse me, the radio, and then there's that DVD poking out of the DVD player. I really like this dash. I think that turned out really great. I mentioned the door panels too. What I did after I smoothed those out, even got dusty sitting in the box. I did just a black strip, and the separation line is actually chrome tape. I got at a hobby shop somewhere years ago, just an ultra thin chrome kind of tape. So I used that, and there's the window switches and locks on the armrest there. So this was built back up using the stock door panel. And the deck lid, I'm still wrestling with whether I want to do either carbon fiber decal to match the floor up underneath here, or if I want to do, I thought about the red flocking that, well, embossing powder is what I use, but same thing. Put that up here, or even a charcoal gray, something that would correspond with the carbon fiber on the bottom, because this thing was nothing but fiberglass anyway. So we'll see. And on the body, I've still got a couple of things yet to do. I'm still working on building up this lower air dam ground effect type thing, and same thing down the side here. And I think I'm going to close up, bring these in just a little bit, the wheel wells, especially in the front. I'm not sure about the back. I think that looks okay. I may close in back here just a little bit. I'm not sure. I'm just going to have to take a look at it. And you can see right here where this body line, or this molding right here, stopped right here at the bumper. And you can see where I added, well, if I can get it to focus, I added a piece where that continues now, just right down to the bottom. And I'll give you a heads up right here. This cove, where it is the semi-gloss black on my other model, this is actually going to be carbon fiber all through here. So the entire cove will be carbon fiber. And I'm considering, instead of doing the semi-gloss black down the length of the body, I'm thinking about doing that in carbon fiber. But I really like that satin black, so we're just going to play with that little by little. Well, okay, guys, that is it right now, and I'll go ahead and get started on the engine, and I've got a few things with the interior that I've made some changes on that I want to get back to, and I'll give you a progress update on this shortly. I've got a few other things in the works too, but appreciate you watching. If you're not a subscriber, show us some love. Give us a sub there, and it helps out the channel immensely. Give us a like if you got something out of it, enjoyed it, and we appreciate it. And share it. If you know a Corvette enthusiast, give them a share. All right, guys, we appreciate it very much. Head on over to HobbyNut Models, visit Mark, check out the inventory. You're going to love it. Some great deals there and a lot of cool stuff. Check out the tool section too. If you're like me, I'm a tool nut. So any kind of tool I got around the workbench that is helpful, I'm all for it. All right, guys. Love you bunches. God loves you. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.